save number line. Okay. We're going to pull up third class approximateness. Pull up that line. I'm going to give it a pass with everybody. Right, let's do my paper. Write down this here. Write down the general form for the quadratic. All right, so this here is one of the most popular types of equations that we will be using, right? That's the quadratic. It's of the form y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. The highest power of x is 2. Okay? There's a next type called linear, which you may have used already. Y is equal to mx plus c. Highest power of x is 1. There's a next one that we are going to use when we do remainder and factor, the cubic. The highest power of x is 3. Right? What you say? Let's say I gave you an equation where it doesn't have this part of it. Once the highest power of x is 2, it's a quadratic. Okay? So for example, if I give you something like y is equal to x squared, that's a quadratic. Okay? Although it doesn't have this part, it's still a quadratic because the highest power of x is 2. Right? Cubic, highest power of x is 3. And one more, just hardly use it, but quadratic, that's the highest power of x is 4. Right, let's do our favor. Look at the examples and tell me what type of equation each one is.
So, this is true, right? We starting your sleep. Right? So
Right?
you got that. Yeah, you got that fact.
Yes, sir. What did you this one? Right, so yeah, online. Right, so what we got? X squared. What is this here? A quadratic. What is this here? A linear. Highest power of x is 1, right? So this is a linear. How about this one here? Finding out. Cubic? Cubic? You sure, but you don't have to square too. Make a difference? No. Once the highest power of x is 3. So this is a cubic. And last one. What's this one, Jayla? What do you think? You have to guess. Quadratic. Why is it up? How you get up? When it multiplies out, right? So x by x is x squared. My x by plus 2 is plus 2x minus 3 by x minus 3 by plus 2. Right? So you're going to get x squared minus x minus. Okay? So this is a quadratic. All right? Okay. Piece together, draw. Hello, okay online? Dominic? You okay there? Yeah. Right, so now we want to be able for the quadratics, we want to be able to figure out what is A, B, and C. All right, so we're gonna take a quadratic and be able to read off what is A, B, and C. Okay, so let's take this small note. What is A is the coefficient of the x squared term. Right, A is the coefficients of the x squared term. Coefficients means the value and the sign. Right, the value and the sign. So x squared is the coefficient, sorry, A is the coefficient of the x squared. So it's the value and the sign in front, right? A is the coefficient of x squared. And B is the coefficient of x. B is the coefficient of x. B is the coefficient of x. And C is the constant. And C is the constant. And C is the constant, right? So let's take a small example here again. If I give you y is equal to 3x squared minus 4x plus 2, y is A, y is B, and y is C. A is what? Positive 3, right? Value and the sign, positive 3. P is how much? Value and the sign, nice. And constant is value and the sign, right? Positive 2. Okay with that? Right? Try number 2. Right? Tell me what is A, what is B, and what is C. Baptiste, you okay online? Yeah, okay, nice. Baptiste, just send my WhatsApp, put your number up, please. Okay, I didn't take the group. In case you don't have my number, 723-0529, right? Right. Right, this one here, you should get what? -5, -3, 4. Right here, the value in front of x squared is +5. Here, there is no p and there is no constant. That's okay. Here, what we have to do? You have to expand it first, right? So we'll get 3 by x, 3 by 2, minus x by x, minus x by +3. So we will end up with bringing the x squared first, all right, minus x squared. 3x minus 2x is plus 1x, and you bring a -6. Right? So a -1, b 1, c positive. Okay? Yeah. So that's stage 1. Once we know how to identify a quadratic and we know how to identify a quadratic and we know how to find a, b, and c, we can go to stage 2 now. Let's see what these quadratics look like. Online, are you okay? All right, next. So we need to know a few things about the quadratic. Number one, the quadratics kind of shaped like that. It's shaped like a little pole, right? It has a pole shape and an upside down pole shape. So it has two main shapes, right? It has a minimum shape, right? You'll see it why they call it minimum. Comes down here, it reaches a minimum value, then it goes back up there, right? So it's called a minimum because it goes down to a minimum value and then it goes back up. That point is also called the turning point. Okay, that point there is called the turning point. And there is also a maximum with shape like this. Okay, and that point again is called the turning point. You will recognize it increasing and then it turns to decreasing. Okay, that's what's called the turning point. So the first thing we need to know is how to find those things. Number one, how to get the shape. A minimum, a value is always more than 0. A maximum, the a value is always less than 0. Okay, let's take a quick glance. Look back at example 1 and 2. Example 1 is a what? What's example 1? Yeah, unquote. So, what type of quadratic? Minimum or maximum? Minimum, right? The value is 3, so it's a minimum. What about number 2? Number 2 is a max because the value is -5, which is less than 0. See that? Look at number 2. Value A is -5, less than 0, so it's a max. All right.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Right, you want a little paper here, copy down. Copy down how to sketch a quadratic. Copy down how to sketch a quadratic and draw it 2 times. Right, you wouldn't ignore this, right? We're not doing this other. Let's copy down how to sketch a quadratic, minimum, maximum, and draw the shape. Okay, right, nice. Before we go to completing this square, let's just go back to our examples there. And just do my favor, write min, max, min, or max. Right? Just write a different type. Don't do any shape or anything. Just write if it's min, max, min, max. Right? For each example, we write what it is. Right, first one is minimum. We talked about this already. This one is a maximum. What this one is? Minimum. And lastly, this is maximum. Right? So that's something I want you to remember as well, right? In order for you to look at the quadratic and figure out if it's max or min, you're going to have to expand and figure out what is key. Right? I like to write this in the order x squared, x, and constant. Right? Always write it like this. You can also write it like this, right? But it's easier for you to identify what it is from there. Are you do that? Online, Shreya? Hello, okay? Yeah, Shreya. Hello, okay there? Serena? Right, you're part of it. So that's stage one, right, Chira? That's stage one. Stage one is identifying the quadratic and knowing what type it is. Stage two is to find a turning point. In order for us to find a turning point, we need something called, we need two letters, H and K. So in order to do it, we do something called completing this equation. Right? So you're writing completing this square and how to get it forward. Okay, so when you complete the square, what completing the square means? It means that you're taking this quadratic and you're writing it like this. They're changing the way it looks. Same quadratic, but you're making it look like this here. So in order to make it look like that equation, we need H and we need K. And I gave you the formula for H and I gave you the formula for K. Right? I'll show you an example that's now, but then write that down. To complete the square, write down the form and write down the formula. So that formula for E that the first thing we gotta learn. We gotta learn how to find H, how to find K. And there's also a next formula, F4AC minus B squared down here. Right, 1 to 8, but I don't use that. This goes here, right? Yes. Yeah. All right, so what is here? How do we find? So if you look here, we know what A, we know what B, we know what C. In order for us to complete this square, we're going to write it in this form. We're going to write it in the form, same quadratic, but we're going to make it look like this. A open brackets, x plus h squared plus k. So we need to find h and we need to find k. So let's start with h. Really easy, b over 2a. B is minus 4, A is 3. 2 into 4, now cancel. So you'll get minus 2 and 3. That's it. That's H. That's okay? That's all you need. Then K is C minus AH squared. We know what C is. C is plus 2. We know what A is. A is plus 3. And here's the only problem. Whenever you're writing this, I want you to put the brackets. This is your H and you're squaring. So you're squaring H, then multiplying it by A, then you're minusing that from C. Okay? So you're squaring this first, then you're working it out. Yes, you can put it in the calculator, but I want you to understand how you're writing it, right? So when you square this, you'll end up with 4 over 9. 3 into 9, that'll cancel. So you'll end up with 2 minus 4 over 3. Right? 2 is 6 on 3, 6 minus 4 is 1. Okay? But remember, you could also put it in the calculator and make sure you get enough. Right? 2 things you gotta be able to do: simplify this properly and use the calculator properly. Okay, so I want to practice that. So therefore, how will it look? After we complete the square, it will be y is equal to a by x plus h. H is minus 2/3 squared plus k. K is 2/3 as well. That's it. Good to go. That's the way you find the chunk. That's okay. I won't give it too much today, don't worry. Those are the first day of the sleep. You okay? Too much. I won't give you plenty. Try this one. Complete the square, 4 numbers. Okay. Yes. Right. Let me check somebody online. Anybody online? Okay, there's some way about page and key. But not anybody. Let me see. Dominic, how you doing there? Some way about each and key now. Right there on Zoom. Some way value for each and key. You got you? Take your time with the calculation key, right? Square each first, then multiply, and then open up. Dominic, what you got with each and key? Dominic, you there? So the page and key. And key. Especially, you have to know. Bring it to key. Thank you, one more. Yeah. Yeah. Dominic. Where is Dominic? Oh, I'll see next message there. Dominic, you there? Okay, so let's see if you're right. So the first thing I will do is write down what is A, write down what is B. That's a 6, right? And then write down what is C. I want to find H first. I want to find H first. H is B over 2A. So that's minus 6 over 2 by 4. So that's minus 3 and 4. And then you want to find K. K is C minus AD squared. Right? What was C? C is 2. A is 4. And H is minus 3/4 squared. So that's 2 by 4 by 9 over 60. Point to this 1, point to this 4. So it's 2 minus 9 on 4, which is the same as 8 on 4. But of course, you can use a calculator to check all that to help you out. Minus a quarter, right? So you have H and you have K. Get that? Right? So you have H and K. Most important thing, as I said, square this first, right? And then we'll go down. Right? One more before I change it up a little bit. One more. Otis, you okay with this? All right. Dominique, are you there? Try this last one. Find H and K from. And tell me what time it looks. That's kind of very easy. Well, that's what you're gonna. So we expand it out first. A by this is 6x, 2 by this is 8, this by this by this. So you end up with minus, please remember, when you're rearranging things, and not carrying across the equal sign, you'll change the sign, right? All we're doing is shipping position. We're not carrying it across the equal sign. So I'm taking this and bringing it here. Okay, so it stays negative 3x squared. But if I move it across the equal sign, then the sign will change, right? 6x minus 4x plus 2x plus 8. Okay? Max or min? Max, right? Okay. A is minus 3. Online, you're hearing? B is 2 and C is 8. That's plenty reunion. But you're hearing? You're hearing online? So you find H first. H is B over 2A. Yeah. b over 2a, so that's 2 over 2 by minus 3, so that's minus 1 3. Look at that. And now k is c minus a squared. What we have in the brackets, right? As a substitute of value, you're putting a bracket around it. Those simple and habits are really important in that math, right? C is 8. A is minus 3. And H is minus 1/3 squared. What you see? Minus and a minus, so that will turn into a plus. Or you can ignore this. Work out this first. Minus 1/3 squared is 1/9. Right? And then you can cancel out there with that value, see it's minus. Or you can multiply a minus and you'll get a plus. Up to you. But I work with the brackets first. This multiplied by this, cancel, you'll get 3 here. So you'll get 8 minus 1/3. Minus and a minus a plus. So you'll get 8 plus 1/3 and you'll get 8 and a 2. Okay? There's 2 ways you can do it. Square this, then multiply it by this, and you'll get minus 1/3, then multiply here and here. Or minus and a minus a plus, and then you work it out. Okay? So way to get in habits of using a bracket. Right? That will help reduce the mistakes, right? Okay, then? Right? So what we learned today, right? Different voice here. But again, so what we learned today so far, we learned about identifying a quadratic. Number 2, we learned about getting coefficient. Number 3, we learned about determining the shape, what is a min, what is a max. And we learned about finding the turning point. Okay? One last thing. Short. One last thing here. All right. One last thing that we have to look at is, you'll remember what I said about this here. What is called this point here. Turning point, right? How to find it, right? How do we find that actual coordinate? Right, try to come with the phone to the one, I'll do something, right? So I'll come with the phone. Pick the next, right, so your turning point, right? Your turning point is always going to be minus HP. That's it. The turning point is always going to be wherever H is minus HN. That's it. Okay. So for example, this one here. Now in this same example here, y is equal to minus 3x squared plus 2x plus 8. H was minus 1/3 and k is 8 and 1/3. So the turning point as I said, is minus h. So if h is minus 1/3, minus h is what? Positive 1/3. And k is that. That's it. Okay? That's how you find the turning point. Take the h, take the k value, and then change the sign of the h value. That's it. Okay? Just make a note of that. Right? Remember, it's minus h. Right? Which is minus 1. Right? 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 Oh, yeah, take a second to check the possible. So it's going to come next time to be possible. But not that hard, I get it. No. Okay, no more. Okay, I'm going to get the element, right? I'll take all of them, right?